Hey, what's up? It's Emily, and thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit, whether it's on my YouTube channel or by checking out the Straight Shooter Recruiter podcast. I am so grateful for your time. Today, we are talking all things leadership, how to answer the dreaded question, tell me about a time you've worked on a team, or tell me a little bit about a time where you stepped up and were a leader. We're going to break down exactly how to tackle this question, how to provide enough info, sounding confident, and making sure that you're still building a real relationship with the interviewer. So if you think this video or literally any of my other content has ever been helpful, even once, please make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, leaving a comment. It genuinely helps me grow. And frankly, I'd like to make this my full-time job. Don't tell anyone. So if you could just, help me out with that, that would be great. Okay, let's get into it. Also, so fun. My Home is Toronto shirt. I know I have a mic stand. I kind of like holding the mic. I hope it's fine. So with any interview question, the first thing you should be thinking of is what is the assessor or the interviewer actually looking for? They're not necessarily looking for this perfectly crafted story about a time you were a total rock star. Ultimately, when the interviewer is asking you about things like leadership and collaboration, they're looking for three things. Number one, they're looking to see that you're able to lead and take charge on a team when it makes sense. They're also looking to see that you're open to feedback and that you don't always think you're right. And number three, they're looking to see that you're interested in continuing to grow those skills and capabilities in the role. AKA, stop panicking about having the perfect example, but do have a couple of examples prepared in advance of your interview that you'll be ready to pull on. This kind of question can easily be asked in any interview. Essentially, if you know you're going to be working with people, be prepared to answer a question surrounding collaboration and leadership. So in advance of your interview, I would recommend writing down 2 to 3 examples that you feel are going to really well call out an experience where you were a leader or worked well on teams. If you're a new graduate and you don't have office or corporate experience yet, feel free to call on an example from a group project, volunteer work, or even your part-time job. If you are someone who's a little bit more seasoned in your career, I always advise using the most recent example possible. And you already know what I'm going to say next. Anytime you're answering an interview question, you need to follow the STAR method. That is the best way to answer any question, whether it's behavioral, technical, whatever it might be. If you want an in-depth review of what the heck the STAR method is, click this key card. But in essence, the STAR method is a method of answering questions to ensure that it's concise, but still providing the relevant information for the interviewer. In a nutshell, STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. So it means that when you're answering the interview question, your first 1 to 2 sentences is going to call out what the situation was. So you were working on a team on a new finance project. That's the situation. The task, we were tasked with building a financial portfolio for a competing firm. Amazing. The action, then what were your specific actions? Remember, when you're being interviewed, although it's important to call out the work and success of your broader team, the interviewer is looking to see how you specifically contributed. So call out a couple of things that you tangibly did. So in this example, maybe you got the team together for a meeting, conducted surveys, and asked for feedback. You really want to make sure that in this action point, you're clearly calling out what you did to step up and how you took other people along for the journey. How did you ask for feedback? Basically, how did we make sure it wasn't a dictatorship and you just steamrolled everyone to get what you wanted? That's not what people want to see. So make sure the action is having both of those elements covered. And the result, of course, is calling out what the wins were. What was the outcome of this, item that you were working on? If you're struggling to think of ideas or examples for a leadership or collaboration experience, ask yourself what the average day in your job looks like. Chances are you're working with people pretty regularly. So call out how you're actively partnering with people in your day-to-day role or even on special projects. Oh my gosh, do you hear my dog? He's wrestling his bed. Before I let you go, there are a couple of other things you need to keep in the back of your mind. When they're asking you questions about leadership and collaboration, they are not looking for someone who's going to come in, have a big idea, and refuse to listen to anyone else. So make sure as you answer these questions, you actively call out how you partner, work with, and value people that you are, partnering with in your role or will be partnering with. It's also really important that you're calling out your specific actions and not necessarily the actions of others. Remember, The interview is about you, and it's okay to, focus on yourself for a little bit. As always, if you're feeling awkward when it comes to answering these questions, it's a great idea to record yourself and watch back just to see how you can improve moving forward. I don't know why, but I've been such a lover of these like short tidbit style, videos where they're like super fast. We kind of get like some good info out there and then we wrap it up and we both get on with our day. You feel me? This felt like a good FaceTime call. That's kind of what I'm saying. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit. Don't forget to leave me a comment, ask me questions. Let's hang out on my other socials. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, I've got my podcast, and I think that's it. Unless you start sending me mail, which I feel like is not a thing. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week, and I will talk to you soon.